there's always those type of anime where it has two sides. One side where they defend the anime and they think it's one of the best pieces out there ever, and then there's the other side where they only focus on the flaws and they really don't care about the major pros that that certain anime has, and they pretty much bypass the blindness of those who love the anime and just think that the anime is complete shit. These kinds of anime also have labeling controversy, such as calling anime like overrated or shonen. There are also those type of anime where it's like politics, like you have to pick a side, like if you're one of those people that are liking the anime, like you're with it, or if you hate the anime, aka being against it. One anime that's like this is the popular 2012 anime Sword Art Online.
Reiki Kawahara deserves some plaudits for being smart enough to think the whole initial scenario, though, omitted from the TV series from several episodes, but noted in the novel that it is minor but very important detail that all of the players have been hooked up to life port equipment. Though I imagine the strain to the Japanese healthcare system must have been insane, and if anything, instead of the glacial pace of .hack, Sword Art Online often comes at you like a raging torrent. With a few episodes devoted to multiple action scenes, it's clear that they actually threw something of a budget like this, and it shows, but it's a shame the writing doesn't always keep up. Clearly an artifact of compressing 4 light novel volumes into 25 episodes. The inclusion of side stories in early chronological order explains Kirito's behavior, but are particularly compressed and are rather poorly integrated into now what's known as a serviceable first half narrative. That being said, the idea of this being a death game is really secondary after the initial set of episodes, as most of what we really get is the budding romance between Kirito and Asuna, both of whom discover that while the world they are trapped in may be virtual, the experiences, friendships, and ultimately love that they experience are all very real. There's nothing wrong with this. Kirito and Asuna are pretty much one of my favorite anime couples in the last few years because there are refreshingly very little indecision or ambiguity to how they feel about one another, especially when you see the fine details of body language. Once established, there's nothing that will break these two apart, which is huge since the fake girls and MMOs thing is completely deconstructed in the very first episode. So Kirito won't be in for a rude surprise if/when they get out of Aincrad. Folks here for the action will not entirely be disappointed. It seems like Sword Art Online is constantly in the process of trying to do itself in ridiculously awesome fantasy action sequences. While the backdrop looks gorgeous, Aincrad looks great in my honest opinion, and the setups are great, the actual character animations doesn't always keep up with 100% with flash frames and quick plans here and there, thanks to A1 being more of a character series studio. It's almost a shame that there aren't nerve gears available to play the game yourself. Minus, of course, the obvious peril to getting your brain fried if you die in the game. And another seemingly callback to .hack, we have Yuki Kajiura, for the soundtrack. Nowhere near as distinctive as before, but still pretty solid. So clearly we're not looking at a 5-star rating here. There's a few things that strongly detract from the show. Never enough from approach average, certainly enough to keep it from being one of the all-time greats. For starters, the pacing is often way too fast, leaving out important details from the novels, or only mentioning them as far later than relevant, like the one I mentioned before about the hospitalization of the players. Some of the conflict resolutions do come off as being arbitrary and contrived, and there's the whole matter of the second arc, which almost amounts to a second season, but only that is unfortunately far less psychological and therefore less interesting, and also shoves in what is undoubtedly the stupidest attempt at a love triangle I've seen in years, even if I liked the third wheel as a character otherwise. There's also some really unwanted fan service with damsel in distress Asuna. In the second half, that's pretty much hammers home how stupid and frankly inferior the big bad is in that arc. Sadly, the best way to sidestep the seemingly logic flaws of the anime is to read the novels, which is better explaining what's going on, and they cannot and should not be taken as part of the show, which is what makes this potentially polarizing experience, especially given the heated discussions undoubtedly occurring on the internet about this show.
That being said, Sword Art Online remains an often fascinating and highly entertaining experience for fans of sci-fi, fantasy, and action. And Kirito and Asuna are utterly adorable together, if I do say so myself. But it doesn't quite live up to its initial premise, and it's hardly an evolutionary leap when it comes to anime as a whole, But, however, it's nevertheless solid, likable, and enjoyable altogether.
Overall, I give Sword Art Online an 8 out of 10. It's very interesting and a rather unique storyline. The second story arc was decent, but I couldn't help but thinking they may have rushed a little bit. Also, the plot twists make it interesting too. One plot twist in particular was Akihiko Kaiba being all along the leader of the Knights of the Blood Oath. That was something I never expected at all. And first for cons, like I said, I feel like they could have done better with the second arc. Plus, they skipped out a whole 2 years as well. Smart concept with a flawed but still enjoyable execution. If you were able to take Sword Art Online's 2 seasons, the first might have also skirted as 5-star territory, and the second might have been more of like a 3-star territory. Sword Art Online is available on Crunchyroll.com, English subtitles, and in English dubbed as well. And at the time of this video, Sword Art Online is licensed by Mad Mad Entertainment in Australia, Manga Entertainment in the United Kingdom, and Aniplex of America in North America. While there is a Sword Art Online 2 already out, that will be for another review I will make in the future. So don't worry, I will make my review on that soon, so don't worry about it. Thank you guys so much for watching my review on Sword Art Online the first season, and if you haven't already, be sure to also check out my reviews for Assassination Classroom and for Kill la Kill. And as always guys, until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Jamatte ne!